Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to our live stream today. We are currently on our 12th season of ViewFinder, and we're happy to present a lot of the work that we've done over the past few months, despite some challenges that happened along the way. We're all streaming from different locations, and everyone who makes up ViewFinder has different skill sets and talents. And I think that's why it's been so fun to work as a team this semester and to see the final results. We could not have done it without our incredible leader and mentor, Bethany Swain. She guided us through a lot of the changes that we experienced. So I'd like to turn it over to her to talk a little bit more about the screening.
Thanks, Carly. So I am joining you from the basement in Annapolis, Maryland. So we have a new kind of Swain domain virtually versus the one that we have all spent lots of hours in College Park. So I'm super proud of everyone on this team for what they've overcome and all of the victories that we've had along the way. So thank you so much for joining us. We have a lot to celebrate, and that's what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on the positive and the many victories that we've had, although it was very different than what we expected. So, but the team has learned a lot. They've grown, and we always talk about finding a plan B when you're hanging out with me, and we definitely needed to do that. So sit back and enjoy a great show. Thanks, Carly.
And to start things off, one of the first projects we did in the beginning of the semester centered around mindfulness. I'm going to turn it over to Seth to talk about the story he edited and the background behind it.
Hi, everyone. Seth Gleaner here. Seth Gleaner here, broadcasting from West Orange, New Jersey, and I'm here introducing a collaborative project done by the Season 12 ViewFinder team. As Carly said early on in the semester, Bethany made it clear that our class was about more than improving our visual storytelling skills. She held true to that promise when she brought in a life coach, Lisa Dewey Wells, to teach us mindfulness practices that we would utilize for the rest of the semester. Breathing exercises, time to meditate and journal. Bethany really held us to it, and the progress showed. And I just want to mention a brief anecdote about this story. This is one of the first times the class got together to shoot a package as a team, and unfortunately, my camera ran out of battery halfway through. I thought this meant I would have to sit out and spectate as the rest of the team shot B-roll and the ensuing interview. However, when Bethany asked the group if any of us wanted to jump in and ask some questions, I raised my hand, and she happily let me take her seat. I was one of the only members of ViewFinder Season 12 to never have Bethany as a teacher previously, but she included me all the same. This is when I knew I would be encouraged to tell stories, fail, only to get up and try again as a part of the beloved Swain domain. So without further ado, I give you Mindfulness with Lisa Dewey Wells.
Beautiful. And then exhale from your collarbones, ribs to your belly. For me, I really believe everybody has what they need inside of them to do the things they want to do in life and to make a difference. Sometimes they just need sort of a non-judgmental person to listen and help them kind of carve out that path. Which is sort of good. But I'm Lisa Wells, Lisa Dewey Wells. I am a coach and a consultant. I'm also a mom and a teacher. I have a coaching business called Grounded to Grow, Coaching, Consulting, and Wellness. Professors. My place right now is to share mindfulness with people who don't think that they can be mindful and meditate. We started with some really basic mindful breathing. Just counting, inhaling 1, exhaling 1. If you have a poo-poo platter of things to help you manage the stress in your life, you need to pick and choose and decide what works for you in different situations. For me, I feel like the biggest message I have to share with people is we always have our breath with us. Down but arms come up, that's awesome. Being aware of where we feel the stress in our body is helpful because you can begin to change that.
As you inhale, reach way up with those fingertips. Exhale, bend.
It's not all rainbows and unicorns, people. If anybody told you that, it is not. That's going to create some extension. I think when you are kind and compassionate to yourself, it's easier to be that way with other people. Enough room. So straighten those legs, point those toes, a little challenging in shoes.
Usually, ViewFinder has a pilot project towards the beginning of the semester and then a larger long-form project. This year, our pilot project was done alongside UMD's Howard Center for Investigative Journalism, and it was about homeless encampments in Washington, D.C. So I'm going to turn it over to Sid to talk about the project that we worked on together.
Thank you, Carly. So we had the opportunity to collaborate with the Howard Center on a project that they have been reporting on for over a year, homelessness and homeless decampments in DC. We thought this was a fantastic way to kick off the Viewfinder season. But as we all know, things didn't go exactly as we planned. Coronavirus hit quickly after we filmed the first couple trips out there. And we weren't exactly able to do what we wanted to do. We wanted to do some profiles. We wanted to really make this an extensive first pilot for the Viewfinder season 12. But we did what we could with it, and I think that the videos turned out pretty amazing. So this first video is more of a social platform video, like the ones that you see on Facebook. It's an explainer video about the homelessness encampments in DC. The final project to these videos will that they're going to accompany haven't come out yet, so this is a very special sneak peek to those videos. So enjoy.
I just
Exhale from your collarbones, ribs.
And homelessness is around the world. We're just a part of that, but we're just trying to survive.
In addition to that story, Maris profiled a specific person in the encampment, and she's going to talk about that process.
Hi, everyone. My name is Maris. I'm broadcasting from Rockville, Maryland. Something I learned from being in Bethany's classes now for the last 3 semesters is always to be adaptable and be ready for anything to happen. I actually filmed this piece on the Thursday before campus basically shut down for the semester. So I was really lucky to be able to get it in. And I really think that thanks through like the training that I've gotten from ViewFinder, I like felt ready to, capture the last moments of like normalcy and be able to get this piece in. And something that ViewFinder really tries to do is like show a face to a larger issue. And I think this piece really upholds that important part of journalism.
Hey, Goku. I'm schizophrenic. I was diagnosed in 2005. I didn't recognize I had a disease, accepting it. And I was taking care of my son, working, thinking everything was great. I have gone down, and now I'm going back up again. I've been stabilized for about 3 months. So I'm just stabilized. I'm just getting on my feet. Spare any change? I live in Condon Terrace down in Southeast in my apartment. Hello, how you doing? I just stay here during the day because I panhandle in order to make a living. I'm unable to work. Spare any change? Let me get something to eat. Spare any change? If we get tired and it goes real late at night, we can just crash here. So it's convenient. That's the living room. That's the kitchen and bed. I get a check from the, Social Security, and then I pay my rent and my electric bill from that. The rest is for food, and then I panhandle to supplement the income to get what I need. A lot of us here in the tents are mentally ill. So I just wish there was an awareness about that. I didn't even know I was mentally ill, and now I am. So I'm around them, and it makes me happy when I'm around them, other schizophrenics and other bipolar people, because I feel accepted. The tent community is being targeted because NOMA or the mayor's office doesn't want the tents here, and that's a constant battle. We are actually just sitting here surviving, and we're getting supplies, and we're getting food, and we're getting money that we need in order to make it. Otherwise, we wouldn't survive. If you took the tents away, I wouldn't get all the stuff I need. How would I make it? You know what I mean? And homelessness is around the world. We're just a part of that, but we're just trying to survive.
And a great thing about having Bethany in ViewFinder and teaching a course is that we're able to also showcase the work of students who aren't in the ViewFinder capstone, but who have really done some amazing and creative work. Amelia has worked on her own project as a student of Bethany, so I'll turn it over to her to explain her idea.
Hi, I'm coming to you from Lincoln, Nebraska. And yeah, as Carly said, I am not in the ViewFinder class, but when I got home from Maryland, I really wanted to commit a lot of my time to my video project because I'm on the Maryland softball team and I'm used to having my schedule full. So I decided to drive a couple hours away when I first got home in March and to see part of the sandhill crane migration, which takes place here in Nebraska. So then when I got home and started editing that video, I asked for some of the ViewFinder team's help. So Lance and Susanna have been great help in editing and teaching me all their wisdom in editing. So I'm really happy with how this project turned out, and I couldn't have imagined that I would have been shooting a video in Nebraska, but I'm happy I got the chance to.
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
All right, I have some questions for you.
Okay.
Did you know that 80% of all the world's cranes descend on the Platte River?
I actually did know that, yes.
I didn't even know there were 80 cranes.
I meant, are you comfortable sleeping in a van?
Yes.
Are you willing to produce the music for this film?
Oh, God.
Hello. It's a big day. You ready? Ready.
No, that was fun. We weren't doing anything.
Starting route to Kearney.
Woo! Bridge.
It's about, I want to say 7:30 p.m. It's a really nice night, luckily. We're still waiting on the cranes to arrive. We've seen a few flocks head over, hoping they'll come before the sun sets, which is in about 20 minutes.
Are we sure we want to do this?
Did you get any film tonight?
Well, we took a lot of film, but it's just there weren't any cranes near us. They were all flying away from us. For the quality of a mobile phone camera.
Yeah.
But I think we got a good idea of maybe where to go or where to look for the morning.
Alright, 624.
Some of us have known shortages
rationing, long queues at fuel pumps, at trucks with safe water on pallets.
Or just empty pallets, those left by the road, torn pieces of plastic wrap flapping away.
And although each of us one day runs short on the future, for all, there's the present we stand in, shifting our pains from one leg to the other.
And always behind us, the past, having made it through everything, its hands on our shoulders, urging us on.
The previous seasons of ViewFinder have also done some work that deserves to be recognized. Though their work was mainly done in 2019, they recently won a ton of awards for it. So next is Heather and Alicia to talk about the experience they had filming their story.
Thank you, Carly. So I'm broadcasting from Clarksville, Maryland. And essentially, we wanted to talk about our piece, Daily Crisis Farm, which you're going to see in a little bit. Our season went through a lot of highs and lows. But we really had, I had a really awesome time working with Alicia specifically. We went up to Daily Crisis Farm in Harford County to cover the crisis that dairy farmers are currently facing as the industry sort of tanks and they have to deal with future generations. So we got to tell the story of Dan Bond and his family, and they were gracious enough to even let us stay overnight at their farm. So, you know, it's because of ViewFinder and that we get to experience these really awesome encounters and tell these really awesome stories. So I'm going to pass it off to Alicia to talk a little bit more about it.
Thanks, Heather. Hi, I'm Alicia. I am broadcasting from Miami, Florida. And to just go off of what Heather said, it was an amazing experience. The Vaughn family, we're so appreciative to them for opening up their homes and their story. And the story really just kind of fell in our lap almost. Connor, one of our team members, brought this story to us. She was super passionate about it because she lives really nearby their farm. And it just kind of went from there. We got in contact with them and they were really just amazing people, opened their homes to us and really shared their struggle, and one that a lot of dairy farmers are going through right now. So we hope you enjoy the piece. Thanks for watching.
It's just another day in Wonderland. To watch the sun come up and watch the day start. That's my favorite time. I like being up in the early morning and watch things start up. We try and get to the barn at 5 a.m. in the morning and milk and feed, clean up. At 5 in the afternoon, we start milking again. And then you generally finish up around 8 o'clock at night. Normal people have no concept of what's involved. There's a lot of times when you go out and there's a water line broken and the whole barn's flooded. You go out and there's a cow having trouble having a calf. That's where we got the name Daily Crisis Farm. You just never know what you're going to run into. Go on, you're worrying your mom. Come on.
So most people my dad's age are getting ready to retire and thinking about, buying a house in Florida, and my dad's thinking, oh, I got to get up in the morning to milk cows again, It's in your blood, so it's what you want to do, it's what you enjoy, but there's not necessarily a sense of retirement from it.
People like myself, we're all dying off, and there's not enough young people wanting to come back in. 50 years ago, a farm this size would have had a full-time hired man. He would have been able to support his family, and you would have been able to support yours with enough money coming in. And I say we take better care of our animals, not just we, I'd say dairy farmers in general, take better care of our animals than a lot of people take care of their grandparents.
What's her name?
This one? Emmylou. Oh, just come up with it. They're like naming a child, I suppose. They've taken care of my family. They put 2 kids through college, and they employ my middle daughter.
She's our queen of the barn.
They take care of us, so we have to take care of them. I guess that's the bottom line.
There's a misconception in the world that, we're just farmers with pitchforks, and people don't realize, like, Dad went to college for this. We're nutritionists, we're veterinarians, we're electricians, we're jack of all trades in order to run the business that we have. We don't just milk cows.
I like the sound that they make when they chew the hay. It's like a crunching, I don't know. I just like that. That's Willa. She can smell the feed coming and she gets very excited. That's her singing down there. Everything goes up except our income goes down. You can't make enough money to buy the equipment that you need to improve. Unless things change in the next year or two, it's going to be dramatically different than what it is now, because most of the small farms are going to be gone. It makes me angry that rather than trying to find an answer to solve the problem, they're just telling you, don't blow your brains out.
The farmer is a resilient to the point of stubborn creature, and we are a self-help community. We take care of our own, we take care of each other, and so it doesn't always make the news. It doesn't always come out because we just take care of it.
I drink more milk than I do water, actually. The best part is the family. That's the absolute best part of it. Being together ever since they were tiny and watching them grow up.
Is this our official butter?
Yep.
Is it good?
It's magnificent.
Well, considering you put enough on here for 8 people.
No. Being together and doing all kind of stuff together. And then working together with them as they get older.
Man, I look old. I look young and strong in those pictures.
Yeah. I did what I wanted to do, and now they have to do what they want to do. I'm not going to try and hold them back. Everything that you have is tied up and invested in dairying. The equipment, the feeding systems, the manure handling systems, everything you own has no value. If we were to sell out, we wouldn't have enough money to last 2 or 3 years. To see everything that you've worked for 30, 40, 50 years, and in some cases that your father and your grandfather worked for, just to suddenly be completely blown up, it's very upsetting. Very, very upsetting. Go on, get out. There's always going to be dairy farming in the United States, whether or not it's going to be on a scale where people like us can continue. I don't know. I just don't know.
Thank you everyone for watching. We also just really want to say thank you to the farming community for all of their feedback and their involvement in that video as well. And we're also really, really excited to share with everyone that we've received several recognitions and awards for our video. We came third place in the NPPA Northern Shore Course Multimedia Contest and the White House News Photographers Association Eyes of History Contest. And we are extremely honored because we were also recognized by the Alliance of Women in Media Foundation as a 2020 Gracie Award recipient. And we just found out today that we received an award from the Capital Emmys. So we are so extremely grateful to everyone who was involved in this and really excited to share this with you all.
Yay! We are so excited for them. And Liam was another award-winning previous ViewFinder student, and he's going to be talking about 2 of his stories.
Hey guys, can you hear me okay? I'm assuming. Okay, cool. So I am in Rockville, Maryland right now. Like Carly said, I was on the ViewFinder team last year with Heather and Alicia. This next piece you'll see is a little bit more of a lighthearted piece related to farming. Katie, my partner, and I worked on this, finding a story that kind of told the story of a farm that gave access to horses for people who wouldn't normally have access to riding horses, people specifically with differing abilities. This actually did wind up winning the WHNPA Award for General News or Feature in the Short Form category, which we were very happy to see. Without further ado.
We look at people and we see what they can't do, when really we should be looking and seeing what they can do. We're the only riding center that is exclusively for people with differing abilities.
Children and adults can come here and learn to groom the horse. Everything from grooming the horse to riding the horse.
The whole thing is just very therapeutic for me, and I enjoy coming up here. Hey, Tilly. Favorite horse is Tilly. What's the matter today? That's the one I ride every time I come up here. That's my favorite horse. Okay. Mama, calm.
Well, the horse that I ride is Victor, and I like Tilly and I like Sally, and I feel proud and confident when I was up there.
Horses can help this population in a number of ways, from emotional benefits to physical benefits.
You're not just learning one skill, but there's a whole social piece, there's a whole cognitive piece that's playing into this that allows it to be so diverse in its purposes.
When you get to letter K, you're gonna
All of our horses are so well trained, and they give our riders exactly what they need. There's something just therapeutic about being with them. The smell, the sound of their hooves on the walkway, it's just relaxing.
When the kid gets it, or even an adult, and they get that look on their face of like being so excited, like as soon as they get it and they're like, oh, I did it. It's like, that's just kind of that moment that you're like, yes.
Every single client we've ever worked with can do something
2 point.
with the horse, but they can also have fun doing it.
I love it here. It's peaceful, it's quiet. It's my favorite thing to do.
All right. And so this next piece is something we actually heard about from the PALS initiative at the University of Maryland. They focus on a different county in Maryland every year to tell stories about. And this year, or the year that I was doing it, was Hartford County. And this story is about police training in dealing with people with mental health disorders. I think you'll get a better idea of what I mean after you see the video. And this video actually just won an award today from the NBCC Awards, which was really cool to see. Take it away, Lance.
People don't know what's in your head. You might have autism, you might have bipolar, you might have schizophrenia. If we went to a call and someone was in crisis, you pretty much just handcuffed them and you took them to the hospital, filled out the paperwork, and you left.
I've been working in the mental health field since 1990. We had issues back in those days.
I believe it was more or less just like do your job. You handle the fight call, you handle the theft call, you get the facts and you leave.
There really wasn't anything like CIT back then in Maryland.
CIT, it's Crisis Intervention Team, and it's helping officers to learn to deal with people in all forms of crisis.
Stop it. Are the ones. Stop it's you. It's you. I came for. It's you. It's you. Look at their eyes. Look at them.
The highlight of the week is really utilizing our Hearing Distressing Voices program.
You are disgusting. They're looking at you and seeing you, and they see everything you do, and you are disgusting. Hey, stop it! Stop it now! Don't touch that. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Put your hands in your pocket.
I don't think I could function in my everyday life with this going on.
Can you imagine driving with that in your head?
I can't imagine doing anything right now. I just want to bury my head like under a pillow.
Look at that. You're filthy now, you swine. That's what you are, a pig. Swine.
Having the headset on and hearing these voices yelling in my ear, saying different things, made it so hard to concentrate.
All I kept thinking is, man, if I actually heard this all day long, yeah, what would you expect from me?
So throughout that training, we cover a lot of the main mental health concerns, substance use issues, how to really talk to a person that may or may not be in crisis.
For an officer on the street, I think it gives them so much more knowledge and awareness.
I've had many situations where this training has absolutely been beneficial.
They can make better choices.
The next ViewFinder students that we want to showcase are Suze and Connor, who will be talking about their impactful piece, Faces of the March.
Hi, everyone. My name is Suze Creedon, and I'm also going to be speaking for Connor. I was a member with Connor on the Season 11 team of ViewFinder from last year. So last March in 2019, my team and I went to Annapolis, Maryland for the day to capture the city's annual Women's March led by the organization March on Maryland, led by Eve Hurwitz. We divided and conquered as we followed Eve and two other inspiring women as they all marched down Main Street. After the march, we knew that we wanted to get a bit deeper into the lives of these amazing females. And so we circled back to them and did a day in their lives, kind of a deal to show off what they do in reality, but also to see how they really do live their lives in service and are always working to better this world for all women. I hopped up and grabbed the reins for this piece after the march happened so we could organize the rest of the process. We learned so much about what it's like to work as a team and how important it is to plan and prep before shoots. We met so many amazing people over those few months and are so grateful that they shared their stories with us and that we could share their stories with the world. So yeah, thanks for tuning in and enjoy the Faces of the March.
We must normalize love. Our society is not doing that. It's more okay to bully and hate than it is to love.
I wrote the poem in my 9th grade year, and I tried to speak for a talent show, but they denied it twice.
Sometimes my biology and the color of my skin speak louder to my identity than my own words ever could.
Yeah, it's vacuum cleaner, Speedy. All right, hold on. Sorry. All right, let me just do my eyeliner, and then I can do the rest in the car. No matter what I'm doing, no matter how many people I'm performing in front of or speaking in front of, I'm always nervous, always. I'm Eve Hurwitz. I am a combat veteran. I'm a mother of 5, business owner, community organizer, and I'm kind of addicted to nonprofits. I saw her gloves recently. They were like the little mittens and they were balled up. Was that upstairs? I am the director of March on Maryland, which is our Maryland nonprofit. And our passion and our mission is about really educating the public on their rights, but also educating them on how they can make a difference in their own governance. Okay. I was leaning that way too. All right, here. All right, let me get my purse.
Shows up right away. So that's where they're doing it.
Look for her mittens real quick and then we're gonna go.
Okay.
This year, everything is about amplifying the voices of the marginalized communities and making sure that the people are heard who need to be heard. Hello, everyone. Welcome.
We can support more women in all these areas of our lives. We can seek better educational opportunities, better childcare, better access to women's health care options, and support for women who are open to running for elected office. Women, unite! Yay!
I just want to... All right, everybody ready? Yes. All right, we're going. Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
My parents were both born and raised in India. I was born and raised here, and so I was the first in my family to go to school here, kind of figure it out along the way, and so I always would get super frustrated when I was growing up because I felt like I was testing waters for my parents, but also, you know, my little sister. I just kind of felt like an experiment a lot. I think I'm really driven by the fact that I feel a lot of change happening. I just graduated from GW. I'm the president of March on the Campus. Today we're kind of out here with a lot of other progressive student orgs on campus, and we're doing a Sexual Assault Awareness Month resource fair. Who's going for sure today? March On is specifically geared towards elections, so all of our activities have to do with registering people to vote, teaching people how to fill in absentee ballots. We specifically were having people write postcards to locally elected officials, but in addition to that, just because we always like to do a little something fun with a little something more serious, we also are having people paint little rocks. Oh, that's perfect. So these little events and initiatives are super important to reminding everyone that you can do something every day. If you want to do a little more, there are routes and avenues for that, and I want to be able to provide those channels for you right here.
Well, I say all these things because my existence was politicized before I could even speak, and sometimes my biology and the color of my skin speak louder to my identity than my own words ever could.
I go to Arundel High School. It's a very large, diverse school, and I would like to see a more diverse staff.
Oh, wait, no. That's crazy.
Samaya first came on my radar as a 9th grader. She was shy as a new student to the school. And since that time, she has really blossomed into quite a young lady. I think what's special about her is that she knows who she is. And she has found a voice, so she's not afraid to speak up and say, you know, I don't like the way that went. I think we can do better.
Sheesh. I'm Samaya Mordecai. I'm 16 years old, and I hold myself as a youth activist and just an overall amazing Black teenager.
She's always been one for justice. She will always speak up, even when she's been wronged. If someone else has been wronged, she's going to speak up.
I wrote the poem in my 9th grade year, And I tried to speak for a talent show, but they denied it twice. Hello, everybody. My name is Samaya Mordecai, and I've been through a lot.
Seeing her step up there, and because she's so soft-spoken, she came
I have
out.
to fight for what's right. But the thing is, even if I do, KDOT said that it was going to be all right. Hopefully in college I can fulfill some type of social justice major or social work major. I just want to make the world a better place. Parents, students, teachers, brothers. 1, 2, 3, and 4. One day I want people to know more about their history. One day we'll have justice along with liberty for all. But until that day, will we ever be free? Just seeing like how people look like me were getting killed, like even from my cousin to people in the news. Nothing was happening about it, and I was like, I can't just keep on doing this without like saying something.
They have come to this country, they need help just like we did.
For me, the march was a primal cry. I needed to yell at the top of my lungs.
We have to raise awareness and remind people we're still here. There's still a lot to do. We're all human.
Normalize love. Love must come first. It's so important that if we're always leading with love, then that'll change everything. We're here, we did it, and we'll be doing it again next year.
And because we didn't have the opportunity to work on a bigger, more long form story, a lot of us worked on some personal projects from home as well. So I'd love to highlight Susanna to talk about the personal project that she worked on.
Thanks, Carly. This video features my congregation in the greater Nashville area. I left campus early to get to my home state right before campus started closing down, and I was really confused about what was going on, as many students were, and I was trying to make sense of the whole situation. My biggest reality shock was reading the email that my church was canceling all in-person services and substituting them with an online stream. As I made my long drive through Virginia, I kept thinking back to the strange image of my preacher speaking to an empty congregation and a worship team harmonizing without a chorus of voices. But thankfully, I was able to capture this strange phenomenon before our state canceled all religious services. It was published on my site in conjunction with a larger text piece about how the church is trying to keep a sense of community, even as they're scattered. Bethany encourages her students from day one to seek compelling characters, and it was a unique experience to feature folks from my childhood.
God, we're used to this room being full. We're used to seeing faces of people that we love, people that we know, people that we have journeyed with. So God, help us, this small group gathered today, to be the church to each other, so that we can transmit that through technology to encourage our church family as they meet in their homes today. We don't just want to survive the next several weeks, we want to thrive. Church is not canceled. Church is scattered. We've always said that church is the people, and now we're being put to the test. So this morning we pray that you feel through your screen the power and the spirit of the living God. You will never fail, for your love endures forever. Oh, your love endures forever.
And in addition to her Michelle piece, Maris also worked on a personal project, and she's going to talk about that and how that came together.
So this past semester, I've been working as a video fellow for Community Change. It's a nonprofit in DC that empowers marginalized communities in the country. And I think like as a journalism and public policy double major, I've been really lucky to have these like opportunities where I can use viewfinder skills with more like policy courses or policy opportunities such as this internship. This next piece is a little bit different from what I've been doing in my classes because it features my parents who are frontline workers during the pandemic. And while I've been lucky to study and continue to work from home, they've actually been going to work every day, often coming in contact with people who have COVID-19. So this piece is for them and all the essential workers that are keeping this country safe and functioning. Each day, millions of Americans go to work in hospitals, clinics, nursing homes, and other healthcare facilities in the country.
It's a matter of managing which one will come first, the safety of yourself or the safety of the patients.
My dad, my mom, and my sister are among them. It's easy to look at the impact of COVID-19 through the numbers that we watch on the news. How many cases, how many deaths, how many lost jobs, how many college graduations, like mine, were canceled among thousands of universities. I've seen the pandemic play out in my own house as I watch my parents go to work. For me, it's not just about the numbers. If healthcare workers are left at risk of contracting COVID-19, then we are all at risk. Their jobs are not just numbers. They are a part of our families too. We all need to do what we can to demand their safety, along with the dignity and care of all of our essential industries. This is how we build a country where we can all thrive. Bye. At the onset of the novel coronavirus outbreak, these workers were among the first to take action.
The nurses that I lead are very frantic about taking care of patients that are COVID positive, and of course they also think about their families because they're bringing the virus home with them.
PPE, or personal protective equipment, is crucial for frontline healthcare workers to wear during their shifts.
This involves wearing of masks, gloves, gowns. It's very important to use your PPE because you need to protect yourself and also protect others. Over there, the smaller hospitals, they are reusing their N95 masks for the whole day, taking care of different patients using one N95 masks.
The precautions and worry don't go away at the end of a shift.
I hope that I'm not bringing the virus home, but that's my fear. When I get home, I take off my uniforms at the garage and put them in plastic and then wear something else, and then I rush to the bathroom, take a bath, a full bath, including the hair and everything. Ever since I became a nurse, I always believed that nursing is a calling. So when you're a nurse, you don't choose your patient. It's like maintaining a good balance between your own motivation and your passion to be a nurse, while also protecting yourself and not to get sick.
Outside of the medical field, other essential workers continue to report to their jobs too, and usually have few protections in their warehouses, food processing plants, delivery trucks, grocery store, checkout lines. This pandemic is reminding us how many working families keep our country safe and functioning. And right now, these essential workers have been, in many ways, left behind while the rest of us shelter at home. Even in the bleakest of times, my family is staying pretty hopeful.
All of us like saying we survived another day and praying that tomorrow will be another day, a good one.
Healthcare workers across the country are too, and they need better protection more than ever.
We need to salute each other. We're very grateful and we are part of the history, and I know we can make it, we will make it.
You are the heroes. You are modern day heroes of healthcare, and we salute all of you and we thank you for all your services.
I am so proud to know 3 amazing individuals who are serving at the front lines of this pandemic.
The well-being of one of us is tied to the health of our neighbors, families, friends. We've all constantly heard that we are in this together. It's time to start living like it. It's the only way that we can make sure that our families are cared for and healthy.
Join us, share your story, and continue to spark the change that we know is possible despite our current distance. Together, we can make sure that no one is left behind.
We just want to say thank you so much to everyone who came out today. And I'm going to turn this over to Lance, who put this all together, and it took an incredible amount of innovation and creativity to do so. So thank you so much, Lance. And here he is.
So one of the things that we kind of asked ourselves, everybody, is during this quarantine, we're not allowed to report outside of the house. So what can we learn? Just what can we learn? How can we grow? Just using the tools that we have. Well, I have a computer, I have a internet connection, so I started thinking about certain ways that we could go about putting on a screening where we couldn't all be together. ViewFinder traditionally has had a streaming where people come to campus and they just watch all the pieces that have been produced. Given the current situation, that obviously was impossible, so I turned to a little bit of some of my other interests. I'm pretty involved over with the CNS Broadcast Bureau. I run their student production crew there, and so I wanted to see how much of that I can translate and put on a suitably epic event for you all. Now, obviously, don't have access to a control room or any of the very, very expensive equipment, but just to give you guys a little taste of what it looks like, this is what I've been staring at all night. I've got all of my video coming in. I have all of the cameras coming in. And it's just trying to take it as best as we can. How close can I get? How close can I get to an actual news broadcast just from home? Of course, I want to give a massive shout out to one and only Bethany Swain for just being there and encouraging us and providing so much help through this entire process. And there's actually one more video we've got to show. So last week, we reached out to over a dozen members of former ViewFinder classes to put together a special message for Bethany. Here it is.
We have a professor who reminds us to practice gratitude.
She tells us that challenges will inevitably come our way.
But when they do, we can always be grateful for what's going well.
She teaches us that personal growth is not linear,
and that oftentimes the greatest growth comes from the hardest times. This professor is also our greatest mentor, our campus mom, and a best friend.
So we want to play some gratitude ping pong. So thank you, Bethany.
For encouraging your students to always bring out their best work, and for being there for your students in and out of the classroom, because you genuinely care.
For all the snacks in the Swain domain.
For pushing me outside of my comfort zone, for encouraging me to take advantage of every single opportunity that came my way.
For everything that you've done. You were one of the best teachers I had at Maryland, and it wasn't just because you knew so much about journalism, but because you really cared about each individual student.
For everything you've done for all of us. You've fed us all kale for all of these years, and if you're wondering what progress we've all made since this point, a lot of us have continued with the eating of the kale.
For one of the most rewarding experiences I had at Maryland.
For everything that you've done for me and the project, I'm sending you the biggest hug, and I hope that we get to see each other soon.
For generously giving your time and your dedication to students, both during your classes and after graduation.
For teaching me patience. Not every plan A is going to work out how you want it to. Sometimes it's that plan B, C, D, E, F, or G that actually becomes that great final product that you put out.
For stopping my videos over and over to point out shaky video and equipment in the back of the shots, and even jump cuts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We love you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's our show, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out. We hope to see many of you in the future, quarantine or not. We hope that everything. Oh, let's go to Bethany now. Actually, oh, this came and it was really impeccable timing. We got a fruit bouquet for Bethany that happened to get here right now. Bethany, do you want to say a few words?
Yes, thank you. From my assistant, Drew has actually gotten very good at Zoom from all of these calls. I am so impressed that this showed up right now during the screening. Thank you, because look, it's something healthy and chocolate. Mixed chocolate? Yeah. Where's chocolate? There's chocolate. Oh my gosh. Yes. So, sorry, I let my assistants in. You know, they have been a part of the Swain domain since the beginning. But that was absolutely wonderful. Thank you to everybody. I'm so proud of each and every one of my students, and especially the ones that had to work extra hard to reach their successes. Yes. So I love you all. Thanks so much. Is it over?